is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Black. We are Minnesota.
With 2 wins in hand, the road trip continues for the Twins in Kansas City. It's a 4-game series with the defending champs, and it all begins tonight inside Kauffman Stadium. This Twins and Royals series is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Welcome to Kansas City, everybody. I'm Audra Martin. It's a hot night for baseball inside Kauffman Stadium as the Twins return to this ballpark for the first time since week 1 of the season. They did, however, just face the Royals last weekend at Target Field, and tonight is a rematch of the game we saw Saturday between Dylan Gee and Tyler Duffey. But here's what you need to know about this series. The Royals have had the Twins number all season long, winning 7 of the 9 meetings so far. And to make matters worse, the Royals are playing great baseball lately, winning each of their last 4 series, including that one at Target Field. Now they have to face the team that is simply thriving on the road. The Twins' 14-6 record away from home is the best in Major League Baseball. And thanks to their red-hot bats, they haven't lost a series away from home since way back in June. Eric Hosmer will always be known for his glove, but last night it was his bat that came up big for the Royals. His 9th inning go-ahead home run gave his team their 9th win in their last 11 games. Well, as I said, it's a rematch between Tyler Duffey and Dylan Gee. We'll see who has the edge tonight. But in the meantime, we're going to send things back to Minnesota to Anthony LaPanta and Jack Morris as they talk a little Jorge Polanco and how he's come up huge for the Minnesota Twins. That's next on Fox Sports North.
North is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. It's hot and steamy in Kansas City, and the Twins are hoping to put together another winning road trip, taking on the defending world champions for the third time this year. It'll be Dylan Gee going for the Kansas City Royals, and for the third time this year, his mound opponent will be Tyler Duffey. And we welcome you to Kauffman Stadium. Dick and Bert with you for the opener of a 4-game series. And Tyler Duffey in August has been really good, and he's hoping to beat the Royals in back-to-back starts.
Yeah, 3-0 over his last 3 starts. Has pitched extremely well in his last 2, and one of those, his last start against the Kansas City Royals. For Tyler Duffey, what he needs to do is stay right where he is at. He's put a lot of time in with Neil Allen out in that bullpen, trying to keep that left shoulder in, because when it flies open, it's pretty erratic. But when he keeps it in, that creates that downward plane toward the catcher, whether it be Kurt Suzuki or Centeno. But right there, there's 2 good fastballs. Now, what does that do? That sets up his curveball. That's his strikeout pitch right there, but it's all set up by the fastball.
Twins are taking on a Royals team that's been to the World Series over the last couple of years. They'd like to think that they can extend the window here and keep winning with some young players brought up through their system. Now, Paulo Orlando isn't that young, but he's a new player, a new center fielder, and the Twins have had a tough time with him.
And he's done a very good job for Ned Yost in that leadoff spot. It used to be Escobar, but Paulo Orlando, normally a right fielder. Kane was on a disabled list. They put him out in center field and then put him in that leadoff spot. He uses the whole field, and when he hits that ball, you're going to see this track star run the bases as well as anybody.
There was a time not that long ago that the Twins dominated the Kansas City Royals, particularly here in Kansas City. That's not the case anymore, but we'll see a lot of Twins fans here this weekend. It should be a fun 4 games against the defending world champs. That the Twins regularly rock the Royals. Minnesota rattled off 11 straight winning seasons against Kansas City. The tables have now turned. The reigning kings of baseball have taken it to the Twins over the past 4+ seasons. Tonight, Minnesota hopes to again turn the tide and keep things rolling on the road in Kansas City. And And the Twins have split the last 4 games with the Royals, but they won the first 5 games of this year's season series, continuing their dominance over the Twins. Twins have put together some very good road trips as of late, 3 straight winning road trips. They picked up a couple of wins in Atlanta, and Paul Molitor would like to see his team play toe-to-toe with the defending world champs. The Menards batting order for the Twins has Brian Dozier in the leadoff spot. Jorge Polanco hitting second. The designated hitter, Joe Mauer, Trevor Plouffe, then Max Kepler, Miguel Sano back in the game, back in the lineup, and at third base, Eddie Rosario, Kurt Suzuki, and Robbie Grossman.
And for the 3rd time this season, the Twins will take a look at Dylan Gee. As a starter, he has really struggled. He's done very well out of that bullpen, but out of necessity, they need Gee just to get 5 or 6 innings in, and that has been a problem at times. And his mound opponent, as you mentioned, I think in the pregame, Dick, that it is Tyler Duffy. So these guys have hooked up 3 straight times this year.
Northland Ford defense for the Kansas City Royals. Some of the names are different, but they're still very solid out on the field. Gordon, Orlando, Kane in the outfield. Cuthbert at third for the injured Moustakas. Escobar, now Mondesi at second base, and up the middle with Escobar, Hosmer at first, and Salvador Perez behind the plate. We saw Paulo Orlando put on a fielding clinic in center field. We'd seen him in right field last year and earlier this year, but man alive, did he make some great catches in center field.
Well, it's usually Lorenzo Cain usually in center field, but Cain is still kind of nursing a little bit of a hamstring injury, and they feel that he's better off in right field, so Orlando gets the opportunity in center field. And yes, he's a great athlete. He can fly.
Brian Dozier to lead things off against Dylan Gee. Side ball 1 when the Twins beat Gee last weekend in Minnesota. Dozier had a good game with a leadoff double and a run scored, and then later a home run. Up and in, 2-0. Behind the plate, Todd Tishner, Brian Knight, Stu Schuerwater, Bill Miller. Everybody will have a chance behind the plate in this 4-game series. 2-0 to Dozier. And a strike on the outside corner.
Well, one thing Gee has done against the Twins this year, he's 0-2, 9.64 ERA. He's given up 21 hits in 9 1/3 innings covering those 2 starts. And 6 home runs.
There's a drive to left center field. Hit deep to the gap. Orlando after it. At the wall. It's gone. Another home run for Brian Dozier.
And make that the 3rd home run against Gee this year. And he has enjoyed hitting against the Kansas City Royals. 5 straight games in a row, Brian Dozier has hit a home run.
Number 27 on the year. He had 28 last year, and he is on some kind of a roll.
Well, Gee has given up home runs. That's home run number 19 allowed. And again, the 3rd to Brian Dozier. Pitch right there. And Orlando's good, but he can't climb that wall.
Wind is blowing out towards left field. They measure the home run at 397 feet.
Good way to start for the Twins.
Here is Polanco, a foul ball on the first pitch, 0-1. And now up the line, Hosmer fields it, and boy, that's a close play. Polanco almost beat it out, and Hosmer just got a foot on the bag before the speedy shortstop. 1 down. And Paul Molitor's got 1 foot out on the field here. The Twins are going to take a look at this.
Polanco hustling out of that box and making it very close, but Paul putting his foot back in the dugout. We will not look at it. So the 1st out.
And now Joe Mauer, the designated hitter. Joe's been dealing with some quadricep issues, held out of the lineup last night in Atlanta, re-entering the lineup as the designated hitter. I think a lot of people thought that if both Mauer and Sano were in the lineup tonight after not playing last night, that it would be Sano as the designated hitter and Mauer at first, but that's not how the lineup looked when we got here.
Yeah, Joe is having a great month of August, and he has always hit well against the Kansas City Royals.
2-0.
Against Gee, Joe Mauer is 5 for 10.
Down the middle, a strike.
There's a changeup right there. That might be his best pitch. Fastball not overpowering. He's a control type guy. Has to hit his spot. G is. He'll mix in a curveball, slider, and his best pitch, that changeup. But it all keys off the control of the fastball, which Joe will get here. Looks like a breaking ball.
2-2.
Corner.
Mentioned that G's given up 6 home runs to the Twins, 3 each in his first 2 starts, and now Dozier starting the ball game with another home run. 2-2 to Mauer. And he came inside and got a swinging strike 3.
Almost like a slider, cut fastball down and in, and G picks up a strikeout. His 71st in 87 innings pitched. So good location underneath that swing or through the swing of Joe.
2 down, and now Trevor Plouffe.
Trevor had a couple real good games in Atlanta. Picked up 5 hits.
Making the start at first base. 1 strike. And that's up the middle through the legs of G. Mondesi is there to clean up the play and end the inning. But Brian Dozier on a 2-1 pitch hammered yet another home run on the road, his 27th of the year. For the Twins, his 14th leadoff home run, first this season, and he's tied Chuck Knobloch for second now on the Twins list of leadoff home runs. Ned Yost hoping his team can get above the 500 mark. They've had to win 7 of their last 8 to get to the 500 mark. And the Menards batting order for the Royals: Paulo Orlando, then Chesler Cuthbert, Lorenzo Cain, Eric Hosmer, Kendrys Morales, Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon, Alcides Escobar, and Raul Mondesi.
And Tyler Duffey, 25 years old, making his 21st start of the year, his 3rd against the Royals, his 1st here at Kauffman Stadium. He beat the Royals in Minnesota back in May, 7-5 against G, and then his last start coming last Saturday, and he won that ball game 5-3 over the Royals.
Outside ball 1. Orlando's such a great athlete. Sprinter speed, and we saw that come into play in the outfield. Now a bunt, and Suzuki fires to first, throws up the line, and Orlando will go to second base.
Well, that's what that speed can do right there.
Suzuki hurried his throw, threw it off the tarp, and Orlando's at second base.
Well, you know who's running. That ball ended up out on the grass. Kurt Suzuki, the only one that had a chance to get the speedy Orlando. He barehands it.
They may call Orlando out here. Orlando's heading back to the dugout, And they are, I think, calling Orlando out for stepping into the baseline. And that's exactly what's happened. And Ned Yost, this is always such a terribly difficult call for an umpire.
Well, you know what? To me, this has always been a terrible rule. Only because if you're a right-handed hitter and you come out of that batter's box, you're not going to automatically run in foul territory between the lines that Ned Yost and Rusty Kuntz and a home plate umpire are at right now. You're going to go directly toward that bag.
You're a right-handed batter, and you're running the direct line. Now that he's on the line
he's
there.
on the line.
But now you can see there's a one step on the grass.
Yeah, he did step in on the grass. But it's not like it was an intentional step in. It was just his momentum.
I'll bet you if you asked umpires, they would tell you this is their.
Somebody got thrown out in the dugout.
Bet you umpires would tell you this is their least favorite call to make.
Looks like Dale Swain.
The scoring will be, I believe, 2 unassisted.
Yeah, the hitting coach Dale Swain, I believe, was thrown out of the ball game.
So 1 out, and Orlando and his speed are not at second base. And here's Cheslor Cuthbert, and he takes strike 1. And that call, I believe, is made by the home plate umpire, not the first base umpire. Breaking ball gets a swing and a miss.
You know, I've been around the game a long time, Dick, and if baseball wants to change rules like they're doing all the replays, they need to do something about that right there, because I don't believe that Orlando was intentionally running on the inside to try to be hit. So Duffy comes back and gets a strikeout for the second out.
2 down, and now Lorenzo Cain. Twins out in the field, brought to you by Northland Ford. Robbie Grossman, Eddie Rosario, Max Kepler in the outfield. Miguel Sano back in at third, standing alongside Polanco, Dozier, Plouffe on the right side, Suzuki behind the plate. And the only thing I can guess is if that left foot hadn't hit the grass, the call might not have been made. This one fouled back, but I'm with you. That's almost like a ticky-tack foul in basketball.
Yeah, I mean, he's running right toward the bag, but you can see where the throw is. It's more the throw of Suzuki than what Orlando did.
If Suzuki throws that ball anywhere near where he intended, Orlando is out.
Right.
1-1 now to Cain. Fouled away, 1-2. But back to your original point, that's what speed does. We have seen it in play, whether it's Buxton trying to bunt back in the day when Christian Guzman would bunt. Everybody quickens their pace. Chop to the right side, and Dozier has to wait for Plouffe to get to the bag. And did he get his foot on the bag? Barely, yes. Interesting first inning, particularly in the bottom of the first, and the Twins have a 1-0 lead.
As we head into the top of the second inning, Dylan G gave up a season-high 11 hits to the Twins last Saturday. So here is what Twins hitting coach Tom Brunansky says they need to do today to try to get that done again. First, he said he's a nibbler. His biggest strength is on the edges, so they can't be overly aggressive on borderline pitches. He's not overpowering, so he relies on teams to get themselves out, and they need to pressure him early because he is the kind of guy who can get rattled, and when he does, he loses those edges and instead finds too many barrels of the bat. So if they can keep those things in mind, they may be able to have another great outing against Dylan G tonight. Guys?
Hi, Audra. Thank you very much. Well, he got ahead of Kepler with a good two-seamer and then that slider down and in.
0-2.
And Perez sitting in there again, almost the way they struck Joe Mauer out on in the first inning. G, 30 years old. He came up with the Mets. He's had some injuries, shoulder issues, shoulder surgery. I think the Royals signed him to try to booster their bullpen, and now he's been pushed into action in the starting rotation.
Kepler taps it foul.
You know, as a starter, he's 2-6 with a 6.35 ERA in 9 starts. But as a reliever, he's done a very good job. 15 relief appearances. He's 2-0 with a 3.05 ERA coming out of the bullpen.
And Kepler slaps one to left field for a leadoff single.
Yeah, fastball stayed up and a nice at bat for Max Kepler, taking it the other way.
You know, the Royals have had some difficulty in the 5th spot on the rotation. First Chris Young, now Dylan G, and
Chris Medlin.
Yep, they probably got more out of Young last year than they had any reason to expect, and now this year, now he's been relegated to bullpen duty.
Yeah, when Young went on a disabled list, you know, he came back, and of course he was the starter prior to that, but Ned Yost wanted to keep him out there, out in the bullpen.
Here is Sano.
So it opened a spot in the rotation.
And he takes a strike on the outside corner. Sano's been swinging it, but then some elbow problems forcing him to take a step back. 5 home runs in his last 8 games. Down and away, 1-1.
Yeah, Sano with 20 home runs, one of those against G.
Breaking ball and a swing and a miss. 1-2.
G has made a lot of starts in the big leagues. This is his 120th major league start. He has 44 wins, 43 losses, only 19 relief appearances.
Up and in. 2-2.
He won 13 ball games 1 year for the Mets, 12 a couple years later, but in between some health issues. There's career numbers, 3 complete games, no career shutout.
Check swing, snap throw to first, and Kepler's back. And now they want to appeal to first base umpire Brian Knight to see if Sano checked or not, and he did check. Kepler, I'm sure, was warned about Perez's arm.
Yeah, you got a catcher back there, Salvador Perez. He's got a great arm. Not too many clubs run against the Kansas City Royals because of that man right there. And G pretty good at holding on runners. Quick throw over. Only 1 stolen base against G in 5 attempts. He does have a couple pickoffs. He's had 1 balk called on him this year.
Swing and a miss. And Sano strikes out, 1 away.
And G picking up his 2nd strikeout. Looked like he took something off that breaking ball right there, and Sano a little out front. Well, he saw the hard slider, and that one just kind of spun, and Sano wanted to hit that over the Hall of Fame area out there.
Here is Eddie Rosario. And a good pickoff throw that nearly got Kepler.
Now Rosario has a home run against G. One of his 8.
Left-handed batters are hitting .322 against G. Right-handers are doing pretty well too, but that's a big number for left-handed batters against Dillon Gee. Up and away, 1-0.
Yeah, right-handers are hitting .285. He's given up now 12 home runs to right-handed hitters, 8 to left-handed.
One and 0 to Rosario. Kepler goes, and Kepler with a steal of second base. Twins not able to do much running, but Kepler picked a good pitch to run on.
Yeah, Ned Yost is going to want to look at this, but Kepler got a very good jump, trying to steal his 5th base of the year, and Perez again from his knees. And you can see Escobar right there, the shortstop, kind of saying to his manager, they looked and they said no, did not want to challenge.
2-0 now to Rosario.
So Kepler 5 for 5 in stolen base attempts. And only the second base stolen against G.
Three and 0, Suzuki on deck.
First base open here. Rosario have the green light.
Takes a 4-pitch walk, his 9th walk of the year, which doesn't sound like much, but he's actually done a nice job drawing some walks here in the last week or so.
Yeah, I don't think G wanted to make a pitch, to him right there with first base open. I know it's early in the ball game, but you're facing a right-hander rather than a left-hander. But you're also facing a right-hander in Suzuki who was 5 for 14 off of him. And Kurt's putting together a very solid season. Very good second half.
Strike one. Suzuki will be followed by Robbie Grossman. Good little 6-game hitting streak for the Twins catcher. Fly ball center field, and Orlando hardly has to move. You're going to look at his arm. Plenty of arm strength there. 2 down. That'll leave the second inning rally to Robbie Grossman.
Oh, he just came from Atlanta at number 9 spot. I expected a pitcher to hit.
Grossman's average just .266, but he's got a higher on base percentage than Joe Mauer coming into play today because he's drawn a lot of walks.
Well, Robbie 3 for 5 against G. And he hit a home run against G this year.
Down and in, ball 1. Twins have won 16 of their last 24 on the road. Off to a quick start here tonight. Busted his bat, it sounded like. Easy play for Mondesi. The Twins get a single, a stolen base, and a walk, but leave 2. Last night's winner, Kyle Gibson, will join us when we come back. Eric Hosmer will lead things off for the Kansas City Royals, and from the Twins dugout, Kyle Gibson, who pitched a 9-inning complete game win last night in Atlanta.
Say that again.
9-inning complete game win for the Twins last night in Atlanta. Kyle, congratulations. Got to be a nice feeling to, as we said, at least I said it last night, shake hands with the boys after the game.
Yeah, absolutely. The only time I've done that is here, and we lost. So it's a whole lot more fun when your team wins the game, that's for sure.
Hey, Kyle, it just seemed like in that ball game, I know if I remember right, you had 46 pitches in the first 3 innings, and all of a sudden the 4th inning on, you just seemed like you got a second wind.
Yeah, you know, they started getting a little bit more aggressive, and Juan and I were able to take advantage of that and throw some early first pitch off speed or execute that heater down and away, and you know, we were able to get some quick ground outs.
You know, one thing I appreciated last night, and I heard it in your interview with after the ball game, about appreciating the games that your catcher called.
Yeah, absolutely. He did a great job. He made some adjustments when we needed to, and you know, really I didn't have any complaints. He called a great game, and you know, we had talked before, obviously, like we always do, and you know, we stayed on the same page all night, and like I said, when we needed to, you know, he started recognizing when we needed to throw off-speed first pitch, and you know, we were able to take advantage of some early outs that way.
Well, you threw 115 pitches. Is your arm okay today? I mean, those extra pitches?
Yeah, I feel good.
Okay.
Good. I threw some balls in during BP, and I feel all right.
Now, you said the only other complete game you had was here in an 8-inning loss, and you pitched a whale of a ball game, if I remember, in that ball game. But to go 9 innings, okay, stand out there and, like Dick said, shake hands. I said take shower with the boys, but you know, but it had to feel good, huh, when you're standing out there with that 27th out baseball in your glove.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling, and you know, it's something that I'm hoping to feel a whole lot more, because it's a lot of fun when you know, like I said, going up to bat in the 9th inning. I talked about that a little bit last night. You know, that was pretty cool, and to have that feeling and to know that the game was completely yours, and with the lead that the offense had built up as well, had plenty of room for error, and you know, the home run in the 9th inning really didn't matter, and it was just me out there, you know, attacking as many hitters as it took to get 3 outs, and that was pretty cool.
You know what? And it really, I mean, you went 9 innings, you through the complete game, but you also got 5 plate appearances. That doesn't happen too often.
Yeah,
for a pitcher.
Yeah, I've said a few times I'll take an 0 for 5 any day, but
well,
you know,
with your swing, yeah, you better get used to that.
easy. But you know what? Missing the 3 bunts, that was a little frustrating on my end. I think some of my teammates were laughing at me though, because I was acting really frustrated.
Hey, you got some big outs last night, but I want to ask you in particular that double play you got off of Matt Kemp. That seemed to be a big turning point in the game.
That was a turning point, and I don't remember, you know, which inning that was. Was
Fifth.
that the
Fifth inning.
Yeah, so I mean, at that point, you know, I think we had just scored maybe in the top of the 5th, or we were about ready to score there in the 6th. But you could just feel, you know, at that moment it was a big time in the game, and you know, thankfully I was able to get that, you know, execute that fastball in and hit it right to Plouffe. Plouffe made a great play on it, you know, over his head and turn a double play. That was awesome.
I'm going to go back to the 1st inning, because you have had trouble this year in that 1st inning, and when you got that ground ball off the bat after the first guy got on, you got that double play right off the get-go. That was very, very nice. I know the one in the 5th was good, but you got the double play ball right off the get-go. That to me, that kind of set the tone.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my!
Watch out.
Hey, that was close. You know, you might be the best fielding pitcher that we've had here in a lot of years.
Since me, yeah.
And you ducked out of the way of that thing.
I mean, if I had a glove on, that I'd feel a little bit more comfortable. But what was the question again, Bert? That just threw me off right there.
All right. Good question. I didn't know if I had a question.
Okay.
You asked him about the first double play in the first
that was
inning.
right.
Right. We talked about that, yes.
That's right. I agree. That was, you know, you're right. The first inning, for whatever reason, has plagued me. I don't know if it's just, you know, finding that groove or what it is, but, you know, it seemed like sometimes when I needed that double play, it's kind of eluded me a little bit, but thankfully I was able to get it that time.
That was awesome, right in the kitchen.
Next start
Kyle,
against the Tigers. Good luck. Let's do it again the
Thanks,
day
guys.
after your start.
It sounds good. I'm in.
Jams.
Fox Sports North is presented by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. Brian Dozier to lead off the third for the Twins. It was Dozier who helped do in G in Minnesota last weekend, and he hit a home run in his first at bat here in the first inning on a 2-1 pitch. And the Twins are enjoying their 1-0 lead. Dozier, Polanco, and Mauer here in the third. Off the end of the bat, couple of hops to Escobar. One down. Royals now have allowed 161 home runs, second most in the American League to the Twins 164. One down, and now Polanco. Got a ground ball to Hosmer, his first time up. Side corner, strike one.
G throwing a lot of breaking balls. As Tom Bernansky said, he's not going to overpower you. He's going to change speeds. He has to hit his spots.
And now 1-1.
G's making his fourth career start against the Twins, his third this year. His other start coming when he was with the Mets. And he ended up beating the Twins back on August 19th, 2013. 6-1 in that ball game. He pitched a whale of a ball game. Didn't give up an earned run in that 7 2/3 innings. And his mound opponent back then, watch out, Brian Knight had to go down.
And the fans here blaming Knight for the Orlando call in the bottom of the first inning. That ball kept hooking and almost found the first base umpire.
Yeah, Brian Knight at the last second. You can see the ball almost got him. Went down, waited a second, and then wow.
2-2 to Polanco, and now he asks for time.
Ooh, glad he's all right. That'll wake you up.
Assuming you were asleep in the first place.
Well, wake you up more.
3-2. Mauer on deck.
Now go back to that game on August 19th, 2013. His mound opponent wasn't Tyler Duffy back then. It was Kyle
For a
Gibson,
change,
actually.
right.
Yeah.
Polanco lifts it over the screen. Foul.
You got to like the way that this young man is playing the game. You know, he's up and down the last couple years, couple stints with the Twins. This year, his fourth stint when Nunez got traded, he came back up and getting to play almost every day now. And he's producing.
Liner to center, and Orlando will play it on a hop. Polanco with a base hit. I asked Paul Molitor before the game today, because we're in the business of, you know, imagining projections for a player, and there aren't many switch hitting shortstops around these days. And so I asked Paul how Polanco might compare in terms of skill set to Eric Aybar, and he said, well, he thinks Aybar a more accomplished fielder and a flashier fielder, but he did say that he thinks Polanco can evolve into a better hitter than Aybar has ever been.
Aybar just got traded from the Braves to the Tigers, and 12-year veteran.
Here's Mauer, struck out swinging in the first. Tapped to first, and Hosmer out there, and a double play, beautifully done by the Royals. 3-6-1, and Mauer bounces into a double play, and the Twins are done suddenly in the third. Well, the Indians leading comfortably, but seemingly with every day more concern about their roster health-wise. Danny Salazar came off the disabled list, started today. Remember, he went on the disabled list after lasting just 2 innings against the Twins. He had some elbow discomfort, and without a rehab assignment, the Indians sent him out there. He lasted 1 inning, walked 3 guys, gave up 3 earned runs. They took him out after 1, then sent him to the bullpen to get more work.
Yeah, he saw 34 pitches too. Ouch.
There's Alex Gordon taking strike 1. Duffy so far seems to be in command. 6 up, 6 down, and not a ball has left the infield.
Well, one guy's been getting better, and that's this guy right here, Alex Gordon, currently on an 8-game hitting streak.
And the average up to 219. 2 strikes, and now Sano will go on the right side of the infield. Breaking ball gets another swinging strikeout, and pretty much the same pitch he threw to Cuthbert, same pitch he threw to Hosmer, who also went down on 3 pitches.
Well, again, you keep that shoulder in, and you can see that hard bite on that breaking ball. Got ahead with the fastball.
This is good to see as the Twins hope to improve their standing in the standings in coming years. Duffy's got really good marks within the American League Central.
Yep. Seeing the 12 starts, 7-2, good earned run average.
Had a tough time against Escobar, who's gone 5 for 7 against him, and he delivers up ball 1. 7 up, 7 down for Duffy. High fly, first ball to leave the infield, and it should be an easy play for Rosario. 2 down. And before Mondesi's at bat, September 22nd is Ryder Cup night at Target Field. Limited number of Ryder Cup theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and Ryder Cup themed Twins cap. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/Ryder Cup or call 800-33-TWINS. You'll be following the Ryder Cup at Hazeltine, I know. 2 down quickly here in the 3rd, and now Raul Mondesi. And a first pitch strike with a fastball. Twins won 1 of 3 last weekend against the Royals at Target Field, and in that 3-game series gave up 21 runs. Mondesi pulls the bat back. It's 1-1.
Yeah, the Twins are 2-7 against the Royals this year, and they've been outscored 58-33 in those 9 games.
And they lost the first 5 games to the Royals.
Yeah, the only 2 wins coming when Duffy has started the ball game.
A bunt back to the mound, and Mondesi runs right down the baseline, and Duffy throws to Plouffe to end the inning. 1-0 Twins through 3, and Trevor Plouffe will lead off the 4th for the Twins. extra days before the off day on Monday, and has responded with a really hot bat.
Yeah, home run. He got, excuse me, a couple doubles that scored runs. Drove in 5 runs, 6 for 10. Kind of like what Trevor did. Remember, again, he had a couple days off prior to the off day, so Trevor Plouffe, who just came off the disabled list, a little extra time off and had a good 2-game series.
Never know how a player will respond to that extra time. The Twins hope that Sano will respond well, but he was swinging the bat really well before he sat down for a couple of games because of the sore elbow. 1-1 to Plouffe, then Kepler, then Sano here in the Twins' fourth. Pitch is up, 2-1. Trevor's case, of course, he was drilled in the ribs, broke a rib, sat out for a while, had a brief rehab assignment in Rochester. The ball lifted to right field, and Kane towards the line makes the catch, 1 away. Speaking of Rochester, the Twins extended their agreement with Rochester for a couple of years. They've been there since 2003, and it's been a really good partnership between really an historic AAA franchise, Rochester Red Wings, and the Twins, and it's going to continue for at least a couple more years.
Very good.
Here's Max Kepler, single to left, stole second. Kepler now with 260 at bats on the season. 261. And nearly thrown behind G, and he makes a heck of a catch and an acrobatic stride to the bag.
Oh, very nice. Well, Kepler's parents were ballerinas and in the ballet, and that's how he got out right here. Throw behind G, and somehow able to get the ball in the glove and then find the bag at the same time.
So Hosmer will probably apologize many times over to Dylan G for that throw, and G had to react and made a really nice play. 2 down, and now here's Sano. Sano struck out his first time up. Breaking ball on the outside corner. Just off the corner. Paul Molitor essentially saying he just thought it was time for Sano to get back to third base after spending some time in the DH spot, missing a few games with a sore elbow. Once they found out that structurally there was nothing wrong, get him back out there, make him make some throws across the diamond. 1-2. Two and 2. Right through a fastball. Sano strikes out again. The Twins go down 1-2-3 in the fourth. all 4 games of it, presented by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. 1-0 Twins. A Brian Dozier leadoff home run, and so far 3 perfect innings for Tyler Duffy. Paulo Orlando will lead off the 4th inning. It's been 3 perfect innings because of a ruling made by Todd Tishner, the home plate umpire, that Orlando, after his bunt, ran too far into fair territory on his path toward first base. Swinging a foul, 1 strike.
I think the best part of the 9 up, 9 out so far for Duffy is that he's only needed 30 pitches. That last pitch, number 31. So keeping a pitch down, counting down quickly here in the first 3 innings.
The scoring on the play has been changed. The opening play with Orlando to 2-3. So they will credit a put out at first by Trevor Plouffe, an assist to Kurt Suzuki. Carsoup.com trivia: who are the 2 players to hold the record for most hits in a single season against the Twins? Orlando already has 17 hits against the Twins in 9 games. And a pitch that was a 1.5 feet outside. That's how tight the spin is on Duffy's breaking ball, and he gets strikeout number 4. And Cuthbert will bat next. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Girls on the Run, and their dedication to empowering young girls and instilling confidence through running. Registration is now open. You can learn more about how you can get involved this fall and visit foxsportssupports.com. Here's Cuthbert. He struck out swinging his first time out. Right off the end of the bat. Last night, Anibal Sanchez took a no-hitter almost through the 7th inning against the Royals, and then the Royals came back late in the ball game to beat Detroit.
Yeah, Eric Hosmer a double, and then the next inning Gordon hit a home run to tie it at 1-1, and then Hosmer got the game winner.
And into center field, Cuthbert gets the first Kansas City hit. A chopper into center with 1 out in the 4th. That'll bring up Lorenzo Cain. Royals went 4-12 out of the All-Star break, and a lot of people thought, well, that sunk their season. But now they've come on. They've won 9 out of 11, 7 out of 8. They've gotten back to the 500 mark. And this is a team that over the last few years has always played really well in the last couple months of the season. So don't go to sleep on the Royals just yet. Cain takes low.
Yeah, they don't hit a lot of home runs, as you mentioned. You know, they have hit 104 home runs. They've given up now 161, but it's a good all-around team.
Fouled away.
And they are picking up some home runs as of late. 11 home runs over the last 11 ball games, and a record 9-2.
The good run of the 4 straight series wins started against the Blue Jays, a really good team, obviously, and then they coming off a 3-game sweep over the Tigers. Inside now, 2-1.
"13 double plays turned behind Tyler Duffy so far this year, making his 21st start.
Dug out of the dirt by Suzuki. Now 3-1. Duffy 3-0, an ERA of 3.79 in August coming into the start here tonight. Earlier this year, pitched back-to-back ball games against the Texas Rangers and beat them twice. Got a lot of run support in each game, but actually pitched better the second time around. Runner goes. It's ball 4. And a pitch that Suzuki thought was a strike. And it's a walk that will send Cuthbert to second base. No stolen base.
Yeah, first walk for Duffy.
And now Hosmer.
Well, Eric Hosmer in last night's ball game in Detroit Got a breaking ball in the top of the 9th inning, giving the Royals a 4-1 win over the Tigers.
And now Duffy, pitching from the stretch for the first time all night long, issues a walk to Kane. 2 on, 1 out. On the outside corner. Duffy with better numbers this year against left-handed hitters than right. Struck out Hosmer on 3 pitches leading off the second. Fouled back, 2 strikes.
Oh, a big swing right there by Hosmer.
Hosmer swung over a breaking ball down and in his first time up.
Duffy getting a little extra rosin. Get a good grip on that baseball. Throw that spinner. Yeah, they call it a curveball, but it's more of a tight, almost like a slurve, a hard slurve.
Fastball away. The one thing a novice like me has noticed, he changes speeds with the breaking ball. He changes arm angles, so it becomes more than just one pitch.
Yeah, again, we've talked about that. Easier to do on a curveball or a hard breaking ball than a slider. And Hosmer stayed off of that hard breaking ball.
Now 2-2.
And we've seen Duffy. He'll throw that breaking ball 3-2, 2-2. He's got a lot of confidence in it. Hosmer's been swinging a good bat. He wants to swing the bat.
And dug out by Suzuki. Now it's a full count. And Duffy, who hasn't had any problems throwing strikes before he went into the stretch, is now having some problems.
If that ball was just a little bit higher, I really feel Hosmer would have attempted to swing at it. Just a little bit on the low side.
Cuthbert the runner at second, full count. Kane at first. Only 1 away. Breaking ball. Duffy fires to second. Relay to first. Safe at first despite a strong throw by Polanco.
And it was a nice feed by Duffy right there. He did throw the 2-3-2 breaking ball. And Hosmer hit it right back to him. He spun around. I think the Twins are going to look at this. It's a bang-bang play at first base. Duffy knows who's covering. That's a shortstop. Good throw right there. And Brian Knight saying that Hosmer beat it out.
They won't overturn that, I don't think.
I don't think so.
I don't think the Twins will challenge it based on that angle.
Yeah, it didn't look like the ball was completely in Trevor's, and Paul clapping his hands, say, let's go, let's play ball. Ball wasn't completely in his glove when Hosmer's foot hit the bag.
Morales, who lined out to Dozier, up here with 2 out, tying run at third. And a fastball sails away. Fouled back.
Yeah, the average down for Morales as a left-handed hitter came into the game hitting only .229. 12 of his 20 home runs from the left side of the plate. Hitting .276 as a right-handed hitter. He's always been a very good clutch hitter.
And now 2-1. Duffy struggling for the first time here tonight in the 4th inning. Cuthbert chopped one up the middle for a single. Kane walked.
Yeah, 50 pitches right now, 32 strikes. This is pitch number 21 this inning.
And his strike percentage has all but disappeared. Fell behind Hosmer after the walk to Kane, and now it's 3-1 to Morales.
That's why it's so important to go deep into the ball game, because of the first 3 innings, the 9, the 13, and the 8 innings. You're going to have little innings like this. Hopefully he can get out of it, get back on the bench.
A walk will fill him up for Salvador Perez.
Yeah, second walk of the inning. And Neil Allen's going to come out and give Duffy just a little breather right here, get him back into the strike zone. A little quick trip to the mound by the pitching coach.
Once he's thrown 15, 16 pitches from the stretch and only thrown a couple of strikes. So now he has the luxury, the option at least, of pitching from the windup here.
Yeah, twofold right there. Neil Allen just kind of keeping him that positive thought, and then just give him a little breather. Get him. It's a big out right here. Salvador Perez.
Perez, 2 hits in 6 at bats against Duffy. We'll see if Duffy goes from the full windup here. Doesn't look like it. Popped up down the line into the twilight. Grossman doesn't see it, and it's about 3 rows back.
Yeah, change up right there that Perez was way out front. And Grossman kind of pointing up, but Polanco saying, you know,
help me out.
Yeah,
I'll help you out. In 15 minutes, it'll be pitch black here. It's the most beautiful ballpark in the world when it's pitch black. The sky is, and we're not quite there yet. No light pollution at all. Being out in the eastern suburbs of Kansas City. 1 strike to Perez. Oh, hit him high. And the game is tied.
Well, looked like a breaking ball or maybe a changeup that got Perez on the shoulder. And Perez with the hit by pitch will pick up an RBI. That's a fastball they wanted inside, and he got it inside.
Thankfully hit him in the shoulder, looked like. High in the shoulder. And now the Twins have already used their trip to the mound. Duffy's got to wriggle out of this on his own. Alex Gordon, the batter. He just can't throw strikes out of the stretch. Doesn't appear. I know you don't want to go the windup. Everybody can, you know, get a bigger lead and all that, but he's thrown what, 3 strikes since he's had to pitch from the stretch.
Yep.
How'd you handle situations like this?
I usually went into windup. I wanted to be into windup because that's where I felt the most comfortable.
Right. 2-0. Gordon struck out on 3 pitches. Obviously, when Duffy was pitching from the full windup, and now Suzuki to talk with his pitcher.
Little pat on the chest right there. Again, you know, sometimes in the stretch you're trying to be a little bit too quick. That left shoulder flies open. So trying to get that ball down and away right here. That 2-seamer. Maybe Gordon will hit it on in the ground.
2-0 to Alex Gordon. Drilled to the corner, but foul.
Yeah, he left that ball up. Some early action in the bullpen. Michael Tonkin getting up.
He retired the first 10 batters, and then Cuthbert chopped one up the middle, and he's been very erratic with his control ever since.
That was just a fastball that Gordon missed right there. You got away with one. Now he needs to make a better pitch here.
3-1. high fly, right center field. Deep to the gap. Gone, a grand slam.
For Alex Gordon. Tyler Duffy, his worst enemy right there, fell behind an account, had to come in with a fastball. And Gordon hitting it over the wall for a grand slam.
And Gordon knew it.
Came into the game an 8-game hitting streak where he's hitting over 400. And he, with that grand slam, a 5-1 Royals lead.
And now Escobar. Breaking ball off the plate, ball one. Duffy was absolutely sailing into this inning, then struck out Orlando on a wicked breaking ball. And as soon as Cuthbert got on base, everything turned upside down. Another breaking ball, foot outside.
I don't know if you remember the video that we went over at the top of the show. Now you can really see him flying open. But not really utilizing that shoulder and his chest to throw toward Suzuki, falling behind an account. So he's just slinging it now.
Breaking ball, fastball doesn't seem to make any difference. He's just not throwing strikes. No command. 4 wide. And he'll go right back into the stretch position. No, he won't. He'll go right back to the dugout.
Yeah,
Paul Molitor's seen enough. Well, Duffy looked like he was ready to get going here and go deep into the ball game like Gibson did.
You know, sad to say, that's the game of baseball. You're on a high. His last 2 starts had been outstanding, 3-0 in August, and all of a sudden he hit a wall.
33 pitches for Duffy, and he only gets 1 out and gives up 5 runs.
And only 30 pitches in the first 3 innings. At the beginning of the show, we kind of highlighted what he needed to do. What's the key today for Tyler Duffy to be where he's been? And that's to keep that shoulder in. When he opens up, you can see how he flies open. But then if he keeps that shoulder in better, he can work that ball away. Hardest pitch to hit, fastball down and away, and Duffy was in that groove of being able to do that. And then that sets up his breaking ball, which he picked up 4 strikeouts in the first 3 innings on that breaking ball because he did have control of the fastball. He lost it here in the 4th. Only 2 hits, but a couple walks, a hit batsman, and he finds himself down 0 and out of the ball game.
9th man to bat is Mondesi, and the throw checking Escobar at first. Michael Tonkin in.
Yeah, Tonkin making his 52nd relief appearance. His last time on the mound was on Sunday in Minnesota against Kansas City.
Something we saw in the 3 games at Target Field last weekend. Royals running fearlessly against the Twins, and of course with Tonkin that's always a challenge. And he delivers a strike at the knees. He stole 3 bases in 1 game without a throw.
Yeah, 13 stolen bases against Michael Tonkin in 14 tries. And Escobar leads the Royals in stolen bases with 14.
Half swing, but a strike. And it's 0-2. A rather unpleasant and a rather abrupt turn of events for Tyler Duffey and the Twins. Two strikes to Mondesi.
That was a good throw over right there because Escobar took a couple steps towards second.
Swing and a miss. Mondesi strikes out to end the inning. 9 men bat and 5 of them score. 4 of them on an Alex Gordon home run, and it's 5-1.
Twin fans, don't forget to Twin home games. You're bringing Circle Me signs, something like that. You might find yourself in a Minnesota Lottery winner circle where you could win $100 worth of lottery scratch-off tickets.
100 from the lottery, 400 from you.
I was giving your money away.
That's your deal. 100 from the lottery people and 400 from you. That's awfully generous of you.
Good luck to you all.
Here's Eddie Rosario. Ball 1, now ball 2. Well, a 5-run inning for the Royals, and we'll see what the Twins can do against a guy they've handled pretty well in 2 prior starts against him. 3-0. Jeeves settled into a bit of a groove, faced just 3 men in the 3rd, and then had a 1-2-3 4th.
Well, I think all they want out of him right here is just give me 5, maybe 6, depending on the pitch count after this inning.
3-1.
He's gone 6 innings twice in his 9 previous starts. He has only 1 quality start of the 9 he's had. Again, spot starter.
3-2.
A guy that did a lot of starting with the Mets, then had some injuries.
Rosario walked on 4 pitches in the 2nd. And he chases. Goes upstairs. and strikes out to start the 5th.
And strikeout number 4 for Dillon Gee.
You can follow Twins baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Customize at bat to feature the Twins. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Here's Kurt Suzuki. Hit a fly ball to center. The Twins had a 1-0 lead and a threat in the second. Now this one hit to left center field. That's down for a hit. And Orlando backhands it. Suzuki will be held to a single. Coors Light cold hard facts. The Twins have done very well on the road, 14-6 since July 1st. Scored a lot of runs against some really good pitching staffs.
Yeah, they really have. They've averaged over 6 runs a game since that. They're hitting like .297 as a ball club. So yes, offensively they can get back into the ball game. Hopefully Tonkin and whoever else comes after will put zeros on the board.
Robbie Grossman, the batter. Strike one. I mentioned before that Gee has faced the Twins twice this year prior to tonight, and in each start he gave up 3 home runs to the Twins in a start. There's only one other guy who has ever done that against the Twins.
Catfish Hunter.
Catfish Hunter way back in 1969 for the Oakland A's.
Well, he gave up a lot of home runs. I think I'm in that same category with him as far as the top 10 home runs allowed.
Robin Roberts, I think, another Hall of Fame pitcher.
And Don Sutton, who we just left, he told me he gave up 470 of them. So we had some great stories to tell about home runs.
On the outside corner, 1-2. Well, obviously, to give up that many home runs, you had to last a long time.
Or really be bad in a short period of time.
1-2.
I think Jamie Moyer gave up the most.
Checked his swing. Grossman gone 2 down.
Yeah, he passed Robin Roberts about 3-4 years ago. So 5th strikeout for Gee. The first called 3rd strike.
And now Dozier homered on the 4th pitch of the game to put the Twins up 1-0, and it stayed that way until the bottom of the 4th. Hanging breaking ball and tapped it foul. Dozier can relax a little bit. Had a lot of family and friends in the 2-game series at in Atlanta. One strike. Blocked by Perez. Dozier 5 for 13 against Gee with 3 home runs. Breaking ball on the outside corner.
Tell you what, he's mixing in his pitches very well. Kind of a spot starter again this year. Started at some ball games in May. Taken out of the rotation in late May. Didn't put back in until July. In the bullpen. Did a good job.
And Dozier strikes out. Gee strikes out the side, leaving Suzuki at first. Mountain Dew fans of the game, enjoying a steamy night here in Kansas City. We'll have another one tomorrow, and then they say it'll dry out humidity-wise here by the weekend. But the Royals, with just 2 hits, got 5 runs thanks to a grand slam off the bat of Alex Gordon. A 5-run 4th inning that was started by Paulo Orlando striking out. And he takes strike 1 from a different pitcher, Michael Tonkin.
Yeah, Tonkin got the final out. He struck out Mondesi to end that ugly 4th inning.
Hack to the right side and underhanded to Plouffe. Dozier makes the flip, 1 down. And Orlando 0 for 3 tonight. And Cuthbert will hit next. Let's go back to our Carsoup.com trivia question. Jason Kipnis a few years ago drove in like 25 runs against the Twins. And George Brett.
Yeah, I was going to say George Brett.
And Kipnis a couple years ago, 3 years ago, I guess, drove in something like 80 runs, and 27 of them were against the Twins. It was just an incredible season. Here's Cuthbert. Didn't seem like much at the time, but when Cuthbert chopped a single up the middle, everything in and around Tyler Duffy started to crumble. Kane walked, and then Hosmer, remember, hit that comebacker, and Duffy nearly got out of it, turning that double play, and credit Hosmer for busting it down the line, staying out of the double play. Now Cuthbert with a solid single to left.
Cuthbert picking up his 2nd hit. Just a breaking ball that stayed up right there. And as far as Tyler Duffy, you're going to have outings like that. You know, I mean, he was pitching so well. He seemed like he was in that groove, and then just flying open. And you know, you've got to learn. You've got to learn. You know, I mean, he's had some real good outings, and he's had some outings that have not been very good. So over his last 9 starts, you see 3 very good starts and then a couple bad ones.
Polanco fields what eventually is a double play grounder, and only 3 men bat in the 5th. North is presented by Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. What's yours? Jorge Polanco will lead off the 6th. He takes strike 1 from Dylan G.
Yeah, G working into the 6th inning. Only 69 pitches now. 42 for strikes.
2 strikes. Duffy and G had a pitcher's duel going until the 5th inning at Target Field last weekend, and then Twins gained on G in the 5th and then knocked him out in the 6th. Polanco takes up high, not by much, 1-2.
Yeah, there's some action in the bullpen for the Royals. Again, it's Chris Young in the bullpen right now. I think Ned Yost and Dave Island be very happy if they can get 6 good innings like they've had so far from G, and he picks up his 7th strikeout.
Threw an off-speed pitch to Polanco. 1 down here in the 6th. That'll bring up Mauer. Nobody sees sports quite the way Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock do. The brains to know, the guts to say. Catch Colin and Jason on FS1's new daily sports talk show, Speak for Yourself, weekdays at 5 p.m. Central. Here's Mauer. Struck out in the 1st inning, and on the first pitch he saw in the 3rd, he bounced into an inning-ending double play. Another chopper right side. Better flip from Hosmer to G. 2 down. You can see Joe go after the first pitch very often, and he's done it in back-to-back at bats.
Yeah, G, that 2-seamer sinker right there, and then the breaking ball. 7 strikeouts. That ties a season high in strikeouts for G. He had 7 against a win over the Tampa Bay Rays, his last win as a starter back in late May.
Not Trevor Plouffe. 0 for 2, a bouncer to second and a fly to right. Fastball outside. Two and 0. And right at Escobar, and G sails through the 6th inning. Four-game series. Twins playing most of the month of August on the road. Just 10 home games. They played 7 of them already. We'll come home from Kansas City Sunday night. Have an off day Monday. 3 in Detroit, or at home against Detroit. And then back on the road to take on a very good Toronto club and a first-place Cleveland club. You can see tomorrow Jose Barrios, given a couple of extra days, will make the start against Edison Volquez.
And it'll be Pat Dean out on the mound for Pat Dean, making his 9th appearance. Did some starting for the Twins earlier this year, now in the bullpen. So good job by Michael Tonkin getting 4 outs.
Now the middle of the lineup, Hosmer, Morales, and Perez. Tyler Duffy self-destructed in the 4th inning, and he came so close to getting out of that inning. He got Hosmer to hit a chopper back to the mound, and Duffy fired to Polanco, who fired to first, and credit Hosmer for busting it down the line, beating out the double play. And then everything fell apart for Duffy. A walk, a hit batter, a grand slam, another walk, and boom, he was gone from the game. 1-1. Now a chopper to short. Polanco gets a chest high hop. 1 down. And now Morales, who drew a walk in the 4th and took his time coming around to home plate on the Gordon home run. Morales now will hit from the right side of the plate.
Yeah, where he's hitting .276 from the right side, 8 of his 20 home runs.
Anthony's.
Yeah, Dean making just his 2nd appearance, so both out of the bullpen since he was recalled on August 2nd. Tommy Malone put on a disabled list. He pitched against the Royals in Minnesota on the last Friday on the 12th. 3 innings, he struck out 6 in that ball game. Did give up a home run to Morales in the Twins' 7-3 loss.
And now 2-1. Ooh. Morales. A swing and a miss. It's 2-2. Ooh, just missed the inside edge.
Dean with a fastball, not an overpowering fastball. The guy has to hit his spots. Good curveball, slider, very good changeup. 27 years old.
On the right field line. Chased by Kepler and a few rows back. And Morales strikes out, 2 down.
And a good fastball out over the plate, down and away. And Dean picks up the strikeout.
The Twins Flex Plan gives you the flexibility to choose your games and your number of seats. Choose in advance or even the day of the game. So don't plan, Flex Plan. Go to twinsbaseball.com/flex or call 800-33-TWINS to learn more. And now Salvador Perez, who was hit by a fastball. It appeared in the back of the shoulder, but high, and picked off on 1 hop. Polanco makes the fielding play, and Pat Dean has a 1-2-3-6.
of the game. Twins took an early 1-0 lead thanks to Brian Dozier's leadoff home run, his 27th home run of the year, and 5 straight games that he's hit a home run against the Kansas City Royals. But in the 5-run 4th inning, it was highlighted by the grand slam off the bat of Alex Gordon. And Dylan Gee going out there for the 7th inning, 76 pitches, 47 for strikes.
And now Max Kepler will lead off the 7th for the Twins. Twins had 3 very quick at bats in the 6th. Kepler, Sano, Rosario will try to have better at bats in the 7th. Soft line drive. In fact, a one-hopper kind of knuckled its way. And not only did Mondesi have to field a weird hop, so did Hosmer. 1 down.
That ball had a lot of spin on it right there. Mondesi decided to stay back and get it on the good hop rather than trying to charge it. Maybe the ball with that spin might ricochet off his glove. And then he threw it low to Hosmer. Hosmer made a nice pick. 3-time Gold Glove winner over at first base.
1 down now. Sano. He has struck out twice. Sano started reporting some. Well, he didn't report it for a couple days, but it started the elbow started bothering him on the last road trip when we were in St. Petersburg. Wasn't impacting his swing at all. Hit some home runs, hit the ceiling at Tropicana Field. First batter to do that. 2-0. Popped up short center. And Orlando comes in. 2 down. These at bats are all lasting about 2 or 3 pitches.
Well, Gee is throwing strikes.
Twins fans, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app, take Fox Sports North and Twins baseball with you wherever you go. 2 quick outs in the 7th, and now Rosario walked, and then on a 3-2 pitch, looked like he might have chased a fastball up, struck out. Inside. Cutter or a slider nearly hit him. Ball 1. And that is just out of the reach of Mondesi. Great athletic young second baseman, but he couldn't catch it. And Rosario's aboard with a 2-out single.
Yeah, not hit sharply, maybe a little off the end of the bat. Just dumping over the leaping Mondesi in the center field. Twins pick up their 5th hit of the ball game.
And now Suzuki. Fly to left and a single.
Yeah, this is the longest outing for D right now this season.
Well, the last couple innings have helped. The Twins have just had some very quick at bats.
But he's been making some good, very good pitches. Good breaking ball, getting ahead early like that. Not a very good swing by Suzuki.
And the inning ends. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Royals leading 5-1. Greater coverage of baseball. Chris Bryant and the Cubs keep rolling along. 30 home runs now, tied for first in the National League. The Orioles hit 6 of them on their way to a thumping of the Astros. And Miguel Cabrera with 78 runs batted in, leading the Tigers. And the Tigers, who were swept by the Royals, hoping to put a little heat on the Indians. And the Indians just seem to be getting more bad news on an almost every other day basis. Can't be encouraged with what happened to Danny Salazar tonight, lasting just 1 inning, giving up a 3-run double to Justin Morneau. And Michael Brantley's not coming back. He had shoulder surgery earlier in the week.
And they keep winning, though.
Yeah. Here's Alex Gordon facing Pat Dean.
Yeah, Dean in his 2nd inning of relief.
Ball 1.
It was Alex Gordon who put the Royals ahead with that grand slam, the 11th home run of the year.
And ball 2.
Well, they got a great crowd here tonight. Beautiful night here in Kansas City.
Gordon, Escobar, and Mondesi. And a strike now, 2-1.
I remember when we won the series in 1987. The following year, 1988, we drew over 3 million people at the Metrodome. First American League team to do that.
And now 3-1. Dodgers would do it on a regular basis, and then after the Twins did it, the Blue Jays, when they won a couple of world championships, drew over 3 million. And Plouffe fields a ground ball, trots to the bag, 1 down. And that'll bring up Alcides Escobar.
Yeah, Dean's retired all 4 batters he's been asked to get so far. Dean's first time around, that was back in early May. He stayed with the Twins until the middle of June. He made 6 starts, 2 relief appearances, had 1 win. That win coming against the Seattle Mariners in Seattle for his first major league win.
Up and away, ball 1.
Guy that's always been a starter in the Twins minor league system. Very durable. 6+ years in a minor league.
Ouch. 1-1. That literally almost hit him on the thumbs.
You say ouch, I say yes. Good pitch. 30,599 here tonight.
Popped up near the tarp and out of play. It's a fairly recent phenomenon here. Remember when the Royals 2 years ago ended up going to the World Series? The Twins were here in August, and Ned Yost went public with his frustration about the lack of fan support. Had 13,000 here, something like that, the night that Alex Gordon hit the big home run against Glenn Perkins. It kind of propelled the Royals forward in the regular season, and then they had some dramatic wins, of course. The ball hit to center, and Rosario comes in, out number 2. Royals had some dramatic come from behind wins in the postseason, but the whole idea of the Royals drawing 30,000 on a Thursday night, that's up until very recently a rare occurrence. 2 down. And Ned Yost again hoping that his team can catch fire here in the final weeks. Basically, all the Royals are is a 500 ball club, but they've got a little history on their side in terms of catching a spark and running it for a long time. And if they could sneak into a wild card spot, what are they, 9 games behind Cleveland, they could still win the division.
Right.
Again, reinforcing the notion that as long as you're at 500, you've got a chance to get into the postseason. And Mondesi just kind of learning the ropes here, hitting 9th for a 500 ball club. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Heads up. Heads
Watch
up.
out. That's in the booth.
That was in the extra.
Jeff Montgomery didn't even move.
Yeah.
Hit the back wall.
I was worried about you for a second.
Oh, I'm okay. Plenty of room underneath this table.
2 strikes to Mondesi.
Yeah, Mondesi, just, you know, he came up last year, part of the World Series, got one at bat, he struck out, but just 21 years old. Just a baby.
And the Royals will rely on the likes of Mondesi, Cuthbert, Orlando, some newer faces, to try to keep that window of opportunity open for them in postseason play. Popped up. And Suzuki over near the on deck circle, little debris to sidestep, but he's got no play.
Yeah, just on the other side of the net.
Talking with the Royals broadcasters, in fact, was on their radio pregame show today, and we're talking about how cyclical this game is, and the Twins were for 9-10 years the standard, in certainly at least in the American League Central they were, with 6 division championships. And then the Royals, who hadn't been to the playoffs at all since 1985, now are the team to beat until someone proves otherwise. Dean with a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings. Come out of the Kansas City bullpen and try to pin down the Twins in the 8th and 9th innings.
Well, great job by Dillon Gee. 7 very good innings. Chris Young, who was in the rotation at the beginning of the year, now in the bullpen.
And another quick at bat. Kane and right. Grossman gone on 1 pitch. In Gee's last 2 innings, in innings 6 and 7, he threw a total of 12 pitches.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
Last 11 hitters, the at bat's been completed on the first pitch. Low, ball 1 to Dozier.
Yeah, Gee threw 84 pitches, 52 for strikes in 7 innings. His best outing all season long for the Royals.
Dozier started the game with a home run. Twins have picked up 4 hits since, but have not had a runner get to third base, much less come home. 2-1 to Dozier. Two and two. We talked about Young when he pitched against the Twins so effectively out of the bullpen. That, you know, he comes straight over the top. He doesn't overpower you, yet he's able to get batters out with a high fastball.
Well, you know, at 6'10", he does a great job of creating that angle straight down, like that pitch right there.
Escobar on the run to Hosmer, 2 down. And that'll get us to Polanco. Dozier's Deck is back on September 10th. A limited number of special ticket packages includes a game ticket and limited edition Brian Dozier Blaze Orange stocking cap. A portion of the proceeds from every ticket purchase benefits Pheasants Forever. For details and tickets, visit twinsbaseball.com/Dozier's Deck. 2 gone, and now Polanco 1 for 3. Breaking ball over the outside corner. The 4 hits other than Dozier's home run have all been singles. One and one. On the ground and an easy play for Mondesi, and another easy inning for a Kansas City pitcher. All right, thank you, sir. Pat Dean will pitch to the top of the Kansas City order. I'll be interested in listening to Paul's analysis of what happened to Tyler Duffey, but I'll bet you he's not too keen with the quality of at bats the Twins have had since the Royals scored 5 times in the 4th inning. It's been pretty much 3 and out very quickly ever since the Royals put 5 runs up on the board. Orlando with a grounder foul, 1 strike, and now pop foul, 0-2.
Well, I think what we've seen from both sides, guys are out swinging the bat. You know, Duffey ran into trouble his first 3 innings. He only threw 30 pitches, threw 33 in that 4th inning. And the walks really created a lot of that problem for Duffey in that 4th inning.
2 strikes to Orlando. Cuthbert and Kane will follow. Pulled foul.
Now Orlando, 30 years old. He spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. Second season with the Royals. Originally signed by the White Sox out of Brazil back in 2005.
Two strikes. And Orlando hanging tough.
You know, and Dean's trying to do what he did here on the at home against the Royals back last Friday when Kyle Gibson worked 5 innings, and then Jaguar worked 1 inning, and then Dean took the game over from there, pitched 3. Kind of saved some of the arms out of that bullpen. Twins lost that ball game 7-3.
Twins had an off day on Monday. Santana gave him 7 innings on Tuesday. Gibson gave him 9 innings last night. So the bullpen is rested. And if you just joined us, Tyler Duffey sent down the first 10 batters and then only retired 1 batter after that. 1-2 to Orlando. 1 foul ball with 2 strikes after another. And now 2-2. Gibson with a 9-inning complete game win last night.
I appreciate him coming on the air with us earlier.
And as he said, he only gets invited when he pitches well, so he hopes to do it another 6 or 7 times.
Jose Barrios right next to Gibson. He'll be pitching here tomorrow night.
10th pitch of this at bat coming. There have been 5 2-strike fouls. And now 3-2. And you get to 3-2, and then you chase a pitch you wouldn't have chased up until it got to 3-2.
And Dean picks up his 3rd strikeout.
1 down.
He's retired all 7 batters so far since he's come into the ball game in the 6th inning. Well, 3-2 fastball away. And a long at bat. Dean wins the battle.
Here's Cuthbert. On the ground, a fair ball right over the bag. And Cuthbert has his 3rd hit of the night. Pair of singles and now a double in the 8th.
At that long at bat, Cuthbert jumping on that first pitch gets his 20th double of the year. And the first hit off of Dean. Fastball down and in. And he opened up quickly right down that 3rd baseline past Sano. Grossman has to retrieve it and get it back in.
Here's Lorenzo Cain, drew a walk in the 5-run 4th. And a fastball for a strike.
I mean, you look at this, you know, Twins are down 5-1. The Royals have only 4 hits. Cuthbert just got his 3rd. So the only other hit was a big one off the bat of Gordon. A grand slam.
In the 5-run 4th, the Royals got just the 2 hits. Cuthbert's chopper that rolled into center field, the grand slam, but there were 3 walks, a hit batter. It was just a mess.
Yeah, a couple walks, a hit batter of Perez that scored the 1st run, and then the grand slam.
Little flare right field.
That's trouble. Come on.
And Dozier did a nice job deking Cuthbert, but he had no chance to make the play. Cuthbert, seeing Dozier react like he was going to catch the ball, and I don't think he would have scored anyway. but Cuthbert was actually running back towards second base.
Well, that ball had some hang time, even though it was a little flare into right field. Brian Dozier going back, and it looks like he's going to be under it. And you see Cuthbert, I think, both two issues. Brian Dozier did a good job right there, but last thing you wanted Kepler to come in and maybe make a diving catch. So he kind of had to stay in no man's land, but he gets over to third.
Hosmer will bat. Twins already down 5-1. Hosmer 0 for 3. Again, a key play in that inning was oddly one of the few outs that Duffy was able to get. Royals had runners at first and second, one down, and Hosmer hit a chopper back to Duffy, and he did what he could. He fired on target, and with a strong throw to Polanco.
No, he made a perfect throw to Polanco, and Polanco, you know, did everything he could to make a good throw over to Plouffe, but credit Hosmer, like you're saying, he beat it out.
2-0 to Hosmer.
Remember, the Twins looked at that too. They were thinking about challenging it, but they did not.
So you come so close to getting out of the inning, and who knows how far after that Tyler Duffy would have gone, but he did not get the double play and then couldn't throw strikes and ended up being taken out later in the inning.
Again, this is why the Royals have been to the World Series the last couple of years. They won it last year because guys that are the leaders, they hustle.
2-1 to Hosmer. And a roller up the middle of base hit. Cuthbert will score. Kane to third.
Oh, no.
And my goodness, Rosario's throw hit the netting above the Kansas City dugout. Rosario uncorked one of the wildest throws from an outfielder you'll ever see.
Well, they put the netting over the dugouts for protection of the fans. More for a foul ball, but watch Rosario come in as Kane goes from first to third.
Wow. If the net had not been there, that would have been 15 rows back.
Well, that's why I said they protect the fans from the foul balls, but not too often from a throw from center field.
Now, Paul Molitor asking about where the runners should be placed, wondering, I think, why Kane, or excuse me, Hosmer, is at third base. No question that Cuthbert was going to score. No question that Kane would score. But I think Paul wanted to wonder why Hosmer was awarded third base.
It'll be an RBI single for Hosmer, picking up his 70th RBI.
And now this, a deep drive to left field. And Grossman took a terrible route. He went straight back and then had to cut across the length of the wall. Where he ended up going back was 30 feet from where the ball landed.
Well, right now you want to put a tent over this circus.
Have you ever seen an outfielder misjudge where the ball was going to come down by this much?
It's a high fly ball. I just assume that Grossman going straight back, and you can see he took his eye off the ball. He went straight back, and by the time he picked it up, the ball was way to his left.
Well, the flags are limp. That was not a wind-blown fly ball. And now Polanco in foul ground makes the catch. That's just the second out of the inning. And Alex Gordon will bat.
I think Grossman went straight back thinking that he had a track that was going to go over his head, and when he turned around, all of a sudden it was way over to his left.
Here's Gordon. 8-1. And Gordon with the biggest swing of the night, a grand slam in the 5-run fourth inning. And now a strike. Well, Dean had a couple of effective innings going. And his outfield defense hasn't been very tidy here in the 8th inning. Flipped foul, 1-2. A 5-run 4th, now a 3-run 8th.
This will be pitch number 52 for Pat Dean.
And to Dozier. Gordon retired. 3 more for the Royals in the 8th, and they'll take a 7-run lead to the 9th. Ninth inning now, Royals up 8-1. Joe Mauer will lead things off against Chris Young, and a fastball over the inside corner, strike one. Mauer, Plouffe, and Kepler in the 9th.
Young had a 1-2-3 8th inning.
One and one. Mauer 0 for 3. A strikeout in the first, and a couple of ground balls to Hosmer. One of them turned into a double play. Joe with a first pitch ground out in the 3rd and another first pitch ground out in the 6th. 1-2. Royals trying to get through this game with just 2 pitchers used. G having his best start as a Royal with 7 innings. Fouled back. Curious what the lineup will be tomorrow. Who's at first, who's at third, who the designated hitter is. Edison Volquez going for the Royals. Jose Barrios going for the Twins. Taken low, 2-2. Twins certainly stepping up in class tonight, having played the Braves for a couple of games and now the Royals, but they've not played a good ball game here tonight, to say the least. 3-2. That was the concern for Paul on Sunday afternoon. The Twins played a very ragged ball game, lost to the Royals on Sunday, And the Twins did play a couple of nice tidy ball games against the Braves, but not here tonight. And Mauer thought it was ball 4, and it's instead strike 3.
Well, Young picking up a strikeout. Joe does not like it. He has words with the home plate umpire. And Young straight over the top.
Good pitch.
Yep, hit the bottom of the strike zone, says Fox Tracks.
I don't want to speak for you, but I believe Fox Tracks. Absolutely. Don't you?
No.
You don't?
No. I believe every umpire has their own little strike zone. And we've seen it from time to time. Umpire will give maybe a little bit more in than away, or away more than in.
2-0 to Plouffe. He is 0 for 3. 1 hit for Dozier, the home run. 1 hit for Polanco. 1 hit for Kepler.
You see Tishner behind there. I think he's done a good job here tonight.
2-1 to Plouffe. 1 hit for Suzuki, and that's been it. Rosario also has a hit. I knew I missed one someplace. 3-1.
Well, Young, 37 years old, his second season with the Royals. He's pitched for the Rangers, the Padres, the Mets, the Mariners.
Three and 2.
Originally signed by the Pirates back in 2000 out of Princeton University. Very good basketball player for Princeton.
Popped up short left field. Gordon comes in. 2 down. And what's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Jose Barrios of bullpen sessions with, among others, Irvin Santana. We'll see if the results are better for Barrios tomorrow night against Edison Volquez. You went out to watch Barrios' bullpen and worked with him on some things.
Sure did. Hopefully he can carry those thoughts into tomorrow night.
1 strike to Kepler. One and 1. Kepler with a single and a stolen base, his first time up. Since then, a couple of ground balls to the right side. Strike called. 1 and 2. Continue their mastery over the Twins. Twins have the first lead here tonight. But the Twins are, or the Royals rather, over 500 for the first time since July 22nd.
Well, Royals playing very, very good baseball right now, and you know, Duffy had that one bad inning that gave the Royals an opportunity. Then he added 3 more in the 8th.
Well, the Twins, who have alternated a win with a loss with the Royals for the last couple of series, lose the opener here, and Anthony hope to have a better ball game tomorrow as they still hope to win this series.